about the United States criminal justice system?
It's garbage.
Why?
Because I think it's built to enslave people and make people fail. It's not put in place for people to better themselves. It's put in place so they can entrap people and make them do what they want them to do.
Can you elaborate on your personal experiences?
Well, yeah, personally, me, I've been in trouble with the law before, but I've come to realize that once you get into that system, it's like really hard to get out. No matter how good you do, no matter if you do everything right, they still try to keep a hold on you because they want you to keep going in and out of this revolving door that in the long run doesn't really help anybody out. It just keeps them at the lowest point of their life, at the bottom of the totem pole. So every time you try to climb up, they knock you right back down and want you to do it all over again. And I feel like that's unfair to people.
Do you feel protected by the United States criminal justice system?
No.
Why?
Because it's a setup. Me personally, my persona and the way I look, it's more so a fact of they'll come at me differently than how they would approach you. Me, when I get pulled over, I get pulled over with guns drawn on me. So it's not protecting me. It's not protecting nobody around. Because who's to say they pull out on somebody who has a gun and all hell breaks loose? Now they're shooting and other people are shooting straight bullets. I don't care how good you are at shooting, you're not going to hit your target every time. So no, it's really not protecting me. And allowing me to have this on my record. Now when I go to get a job, people don't look at me for who I am. They look at me for my record. So it's hard for me to get a job. If I go into an interview, I could be the top candidate. But as soon as they look at what they have on my record, they're gonna be like, oh no, we can't hire you. They become fearful, they become scared. But yet still they don't even know me personally. They know me from a piece of paper, so they're making a judgment against me.
And are there any personal instances that you would like to discuss?
Well, yeah, I know of I know somebody, they came to do a good deed, and in the process of them doing a good deed, they ended up getting incarcerated because supposedly, well, apparently the system wasn't updated. And for the system not being updated, they got pulled over for making a turn. And during this process, they found out there was a warrant put on them. Now, the family has already been through this numerous of times. But to the fact that the system wasn't updated, they have to go through this again. Now, the family has to deal with a lot of stress, a lot of pain, a lot of suffering. They didn't plan to stay for so long in a certain area that they went to, but here it is. They have to go through all of these loops. They got to jump through all of these holes. It's like being on time at the Tea Party in Alice in Wonderland. They got to go through all of this stuff just to help their family member out. But here it is that if it wasn't for the system being so messed up, they wouldn't have to deal with this. It would be to the point that they would be able to walk around and do what they was doing. It's not like the person came down to do something negative. They actually came to do something positive. And even in doing something positive, they have to deal with this negativity from the system. That's why I said it's an entrapment. That's why it's not suitable for it to be in place the way it is like this. I really believe and honestly truly think that it needs to be rebuilt and redone.
And in closing, what do you think an individual can do to make a sufficient change in the justice system?
To make a sufficient change in the justice system is going to take a lot. But first off, like I've said numerous of times, if people would just fight some of the BS that charges to get trumped up on them, if they was just to fight it and put pressure on the justice system to let them know that, hey, we're not going to just lay down and let you do me any old kind of way, it will put a strain on the justice system to stop coming with this BS and trumped up charges that they do. It's a fact that it takes $50,000 to run a trial that the state has to pay. If 13% of the people who get incarcerated just fight their charges, it will put pressure on the justice system because it would darn near bankrupt them. And that will make them choose their battles a little easier. Because right now, and just even in the county that I was arrested in, they go off a scare tactic. And the scare tactic is, oh, we got this on you, we got this. If you don't take this charge, if you don't take this time, we're going to give you the max, which is 40 years. People think about that like, wow, 40 years. And you look at it, that's all they got to think about. There's no TV in the jail system that I was in. You might get a newspaper if the officers feel like bringing it in. So that's the only thing on your mind. So with that being on your mind, you're willing to, what, I'll take these 7 years and I'll go down the road. Cobb County has the highest conviction rate at 98%, but it also has the highest overturn rate in the habeas corpus court because they do so many things wrong. And that just goes to show you that you may have a 98% conviction rate, but you also have a 97 overturn ratio, which means 97% of the 98% that you send down the road actually comes back on habeas corpus and gives you your time back and go home and go free. Now, with that being said, if they would just look at that and say, you know what, if I just go to trial, I won't even have to go through the system, period. Just take it to trial, and you would beat them. You would beat them a lot of times because a lot of times they have trumped up charges. A lot of times they have trumped up charges. I've been through that. I've had 3 charges going into probable cause and came back with 7. So that's just some of the things that I've been through.
So is it safe to say that you think the criminal justice system is a business?
It's more than a business. What? It's way more than a business. Why do you think they send people down the road? Maybe 2 years ago, two judges got indicted for sending people down the road to start private-owned prisons. They got paid like $2.4 million just to send people down the road for that. Me personally, I've worked on DOT, which is Department of Transportation. By law, I'm supposed to make a minimum of 25 cents an hour to $1.25 an hour. I've never seen none of that. They're not going to pay me to go out to work. They want me to work for free. Then why would they pay me? Why? It's not like they're going to get it back. And I've just recently found out that some of the inmates are actually involved in a class action lawsuit suing because they want to get their wages. Because by law, you're supposed to get that. But they haven't been receiving it, so that's what they're doing. They're in a class action lawsuit to get that.